Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation continues from Surat Kabir Ji. The recitation for today. Kar Duja Dui Dui Lochan Pekha, how har bin aur na dekha, Nain rahe rang lai, abbe gal kehn na jai. This is the first slok. With both eyes, Kabir Ji is saying, Dui Dui Lochan, I look upon the world, Pekha, Vekha. And what do I see? Apart from the Har being, Harbin, I see nothing else. Aur na dekha. Now, he says, my gaze, my look, is completely absorbed in the beloved's blush. Nain rahe rangalai. Now, he says, nothing more can be said. Abbe gal kehn na jai. So here, what is going on is that attention is the key. It has to be fully absorbed. You have to be fully absorbed in attention. And what that means is both eyes, because he's mentioning Dui Dui Lochan. Yes, we know that we have two physical eyes, but this is a metaphor for the inner eye, the eye of perception and the eye of awareness. We simply perceive but remain unaware. So we have to see with both the eye of perception and awareness. Look completely, look upon with both eyes, not the physical eyes. And so when you look with the eye of perception, with the eyes of perception and awareness, your attention then is wholly absorbed. And when the mind is in such a state of one-pointed attention, which Guru Nanak calls Sunaya in the Japji, what happens? The ordinary becomes extraordinary because ordinary seeing is transformed. Your paradigm shifts. And so in a state of fully absorbed attention, there is no distraction. There are no objects, no desires. All distractions fade away. So the eyes, colored in the dye of love, nain rahe rangalai, perceive and are aware only of unity and presence. And Kabir Ji says that, look, what I have just described to you is a mystical experience that we all must have and should act out of. But that experience goes beyond conceptual speech or description. Abbe gal kehn na jai. You cannot use speech to explain an experience that is essentially ineffable. It cannot be put into words, because the state he's describing is one of complete absorption, where seeing itself is transformed. So this is an affirmation of the highest devotional realization. All perception becomes single-pointed, absorbed in love, beyond ordinary language. The next, and the rahau. What happens then in such a state of attention? Hamra param gaya pau paga, jam ram naam chit laga. Hamra param gaya pau paga, jab ram naam chit laga. Rahau. My doubts vanish. Fear goes away when the mind is fastened to the wisdom of Ram, Naam. So this is the axis of the Shabad. Remembrance, Chittalaga, memory. When your memory is attuned, it clarifies and it defears you. Attachment to that wisdom, Nam, quietens the mind's projections, Param. This is what we are doing. These are all projections of the mind, our thought process. And so we gradually begin to free ourselves of survival anxiety. Pao. Pao is just anxiety of survival. So this is the voice of inner transformation. And it comes when the mind is anchored in remembrance, presence, and awareness of Ram. Remember the two eyes. So we are being asked here to dwell on this moment of clarity. It's a moment free from illusion, free from fear. And you can't realize this through words nor through ritual performance or any kind of intellectual grasp. So the emphasis here is on a psychological and existential shift. Your awareness has to just shift into a different paradigm. And the second salok, बाजीगर डंक बजाई सब खलक तमासे आई बाजीगर स्वर्ग सकेला अपने रंग रवे अकेला बाजीगर डंक बजाई सब खलक तमासे आई बाजीगर स्वांग सकेला अपने रंग रवे अकेला. Bajigar, the juggler, beats the drum, and all people gather to watch the show. And the juggler is very deft. He changes his costumes without anybody knowing. And yet, it is the same juggler. So what happens when your paradigm shifts, when you are seeing only unity, then you see creation as a performance. The creator is a performer, and this is a performance of forms. Costumes change, crowds react, but the performer delights in its own color. So multiplicity is display, but the substratum remains single, one. So the metaphor of a juggler or a performer, bajigar, is used to illustrate the drama of existence. So creation is like a spectacle. A show is being put on, draws an eager audience who come for entertainment and astonishment. And when the display ends, the juggler withdraws. This is the cycle of creation. The world is ultimately, Kabirji is telling us, a passing display, a play that is orchestrated by the divine Bajigar. Our assemblies are temporary, attracted by the spectacle of life. We have to understand this impermanence, enjoy life for what it is, but with the realization that this is going to come to an end. The third salok, Kathani keh param na jai, sab kath kath rahi lukai, जाको गुरमुख आप बुझाई ताके हृदय रहे समाई. Kathani keh keh param na jai. By speaking and describing, your delusion will not depart. Talk, sab kath kath rahi lukai. The more you talk, the more you conceal reality. This is the beauty and the contradiction and the paradox of life. Only the one who is guru-oriented awakens. So in every sabad, we are given the way. The way is gurmukh, the guru. So concepts, which is what language deals in, masks rather than reveals. Language hides truth as much as it reveals truth. What frees us from this is Guru insight, Guru consciousness, which is a lived understanding, a felt presence in the heart, not just some wordy explanation like the one I am providing you. It's not this. You have to be moved inside. Intellectual discussions, verbal expressions cannot dispel this illusion. True insight is given by the Guru, and then it becomes a living experience. The divine no longer remains hidden in the one who has that experience. So we are being asked to have an experiential, transformative encounter, not just conceptual talk. Concluding Salok, Gur kinchat kirpa kini, sab tan man de har lini, keh kabir rang rata, milyo jag jeevan datta. He's explaining his state here. Gur kinchat kirpa kini, even a little grace from the Guru. Sab tan man de har lini, and the har being possesses you, says Kabir. Keh Kabir Rangarata, died in that color of love. Milyo Jagjeevan Datta, I met the life giver. So grace is what catalyzes surrender. When our center yields, empties out of ego, everything is received. This is the paradox, and this is the beauty. So meeting the Creator is not anywhere else. It is simply in the heart that is suffused with love. It's steady, simple, free. This is complete immersion in devotion. Liberation, transformation, true experience comes through the Guru's gift of grace. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.